here we go then. We can ride on board with the Robin Slater machine, and he's away. The race is away. It was a relatively good start for the Angler, getting ahead of Simon Benoit there in the Imp. We just went round as we all head down to Ritchie's for the first time then on this Snetterton 300 circuit. Leaders exiting it, and we have a spinner, and that might be Harry Wyndham in the Ford Falcon. Meanwhile, no, there's Warren Briggs in second. Already getting away though is the pole car, Mike Gardiner. The best of the Cortinas sits in third. That is the car in the hands of Tim Davies. Everyone heads down to part for the first time. Attacking Davies there was the BMW of Jonathan Gom. So they head now down towards Agostini's, sitting there behind the two smaller capacity cars of the Cortina and of the BMW is Gregory Thornton. So they head for Agostini. Then Dan Cox in his Cortina runs in 6th position. And side by side, almost behind, between another Cortina, which is Neil Brown, and the next Falcon, which I presume is John Wolfe. And now here comes Dan Cox. He's going to try and make his way up to 5th through the Oggie's corner, getting ahead of Gregory Thornton. Yellow flags are out. I think they're going to have a safety car for what happened down there. So that means Dan Cox has not been able to make a move, and everyone will have to start putting themselves into position, what they're not doing as yet. A few cars are going side by side as they went through Williams. There's one of the cars that are off. That is our onboard camera car. I think Robin Slater's Angular, so hopefully we should get a replay of that. The ambulance is down there as well. Hopefully everybody's okay. There's Simon Benoit in the Imp. He's going to take a look at his car, but not quite sure if that rear left wheel's in the correct angle. There's another Angular. Can't quite work out who's that is. Let's have a look then. On board, let's Harry Wyndham losing it with Robin Slater. Then him there around the outside. He was trying to go for the middle. That's not going to happen. And the car went over. That is quite. You don't see that there. And then he gets hit again by one of the other Angulars. And then that shot the car back onto 4 wheels. It was the Brian Webb machine that hit him. He gets out the car. He was okay. Thank goodness for that. Let's take a look at it in slow motion. There's Harry Wyndham. Dan Cox just missing on the guys. Then Benoit there trying to come through the middle of the spinning car, and Benoit with Robin Slater. Certainly it's a rush to first corner racing. It's then very unusual to see the car roll onto its side and come back up again when he got hit by the Webb Angular. Take a look again. How unlucky was that? And then the car just rotates, and we can see the rest of the field coming towards us, and then just clumsily really falls onto its side, and then whack, the other Angular smashes into ours, and the car back onto 4 wheels, but out of the race. Right, the race was stopped to clear up the mess. We can go again for a 15-minute race, but that includes the warming up lap, so be more something like 12 minutes. So they head down to Montreal for the first time then, and round the outside comes Dan Cox. He's trying to pass everybody once again, but he's not. He's about equal 5th with the Jonathan Gom car, and he managed to get right round the outside of him and go through there. Does Cox. The Tim Davies Cortina for some reason did not make the restart, so he's not up there this time, but Dan Cox chasing after the other Cortina. That is the car of Neil Brown, but the rest of the field go through there. Gardner leading from Briggs. Third is Gregory Thornton, so head into Hamilton then. Be chasing Thornton. Oh, the 2 Cortinas. Dan Cox a lot quicker than Neil Brown through Hamilton, and dives to the inside. He goes through then. He's now the leading Cortina. His 4th overall now is Dan Cox. He started 8th, but coming back at him down to Williams and making his way back through does the 41 machine of Neil Brown. He's in one of the FIA Class K cars, the Appendix class, as they are, because they are officially homologated FIA cars to original specification. Going through there is one and only Volkswagen Beetle of Ian Brown. It's in the Historic Sports Car Club And HRSA Buy Box Historic Touring Car Championship. We have 2 lots of classes, the HSCC classes, and then we have the FIA classes, which are K and then a number. The HSC classes are the letter. As Dan Cox still chasing there, Gregory Thornton as they go out of Montreal. So Cox did eventually get through past the other Cortina of Neil Brown. Neil Brown won the FIA car, so that's an original specification Lotus Cortina, compared to Dan Cox, who's got, I think, a 2-litre engine it is in that Cortina. Obviously that not original specification. That's what the HSCC classes are all about, to give people a chance. Perhaps if they can't get the whole car to be original specification, they can still come out and race it in this series. Anyway, we won't worry about too much about that, because the battle on for third into Hamilton. Round these twisty corners now. Dan Cox in the Cortina be much quicker than the Ford Falcon in front of him. Now down to Oggies, he's much later on the brakes, but the Falcon is leaving nowhere for Dan Cox to find a way through. As they go out of Oggies now, what can Gregory Thornton do to hold him off? Well, what he can do is find a big long straight, and that's exactly what he's found as they head now onto the Bentley straight. He'll be able to pull away from the Cortina behind him. First, the Alpha's just going through there. James Fuller in the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint. He is third in the Class B, behind Dan Cox and Jonathan Gum. Just going through there, Mini, he was involved in the first instant. That's the Mini of Roger Phillips. He leads Class K6. The Austin Mini Cooper S. Yes, he was involved in the door come open, so they've had to tape that shut. He was involved with the 2 other Angulars, but he is okay. Just gone through out of our view, Ken Lark. He's in the Alfa Romeo Junior. He also runs in Class B, but he started from the pit lane after also getting involved, I think, earlier on in the shunt at the start. Leader then down into Montreal Hairpin. Mike Gardner is your leader. He also leads K1. All these Falcons, no, they're not. I was going to say all these Falcons are Appendix K, but they're not, because Gregory Thornton, who runs third, is a HSCC Class A. And there's James Fuller in the Alpha braking extraordinary. Late it appeared for the Montreal Hairpin. He runs in 7th. There is the Angler of John Pugsley. He leads Class D. There's Roger Phillips, I think, running in 9th. There's one of the Mustangs. That's Simon Miller. Big scrap here. David Hill at the front of it. He's just ahead of the Angular of, I think, was it Max Reed's Angular 105E? There's Ken Lark involved in all of that. He also raced in the Classic Touring Car Championship. Adrian Oliver at the back of all this. We've got the Jaguar in there as well. Jaguar Mark II of Peter Burton. So they all come out. Mustang in there as well. That's Mark Watts. They'll have down to Hamilton. Then here comes Ken Lark trying to get past Peter Burton into Hamilton. He can't do that. The Jaguar stays just in front of the Alfa Romeo. And now here comes Ken Lark round the outside of the Class A Jaguar Mark II. He runs second in that class. And now here comes Ken Lark up on the inside of the Jaguar to go through, does he? Yes, Ken Lark should have that one done. The Jaguar Burton tries to continue to fight around the outside line. And then behind, you can see the Hillman in without the boot on. So obviously that's disappeared off somewhere. Adrian Oliver there in the Class E leading machine. There's our race leader then, Mike Gardner, making it look a bit easy now in his Falcon, driving away from the back. Second is still Briggs. There's the third place car. That's the number 12 Gregory Thornton machine. Dan Cox still trying to close him in. And through the hairpin you can see how much more speed the Cortina has. And then it powers alongside the Falcon. Then the Falcon finds the speed and the power can start, finds traction and the power can start to work. Then through Palmer, the Cortina then again has the speed through the corner. On the exit briefly the Cortina has it. Then the Falcon's power comes in once again. The I think 4.7 litre engine for the Ford Falcon, and then into the left-hander that is Agostini's. That allows the Cortina to come back in to its own. So Dan Cox powers up behind them. We have a good battle. between the Cortina of Neil Brown leading Class K5 and Jonathan Gom that runs second in Class B in the BMW. So they head through Hamilton, battling away for that 5th position overall. Onto the brakes they go then, and in front, Cox onto the tail of the Falcon. They've got a Fiat Bath to lap, and look at the speed Dan Cox carries out Williams, but then he finds a Fiat Bath there, has to take to the grass briefly, and of course now they're on the power anyway. It allowed Gregory Thornton to pull away once more. But this battle we were watching has now, I think, the Mustang at the front of it, so starting to get away now is you'd expect would be Mark Watts. The angler there, number 50, that is Max Reed. He's chasing Peter Burton. Burton's not just been passed by Ken Lark, but also by Adrian Oliver, as they all come through down towards Williams. And here comes Ken Lark up on the inside line for Williams. He can't quite get past the smoky Mustang, and then the power of the Mustang come into its own down the Bentley straight, and the power's away from Ken Lark. The bootless imp next up. Then Peter Burton just about keeping the Angular behind him. I think this is the final lap of the race for the Ford Falcon. The lead up, Mike Gardner, and a big gap to Warren Briggs, who runs in second position and second class. Gregory Thornton now missing a part of his front right corner of the car, and Dan Cox continues to close them in. Both these drivers leading their respective classes, Class A for Gregory Thornton and Class B for Dan Cox. So they head out of Hamilton down towards Agostini's. What can Dan Cox do about the Falcon on this final lap? Well, the Falcon managed to pull away down the straight, then the Cortina will brake much later for Agostini's, and he gets back onto the tail of the Ford Falcon of Gregory Thornton. Now they put power back on. Cortina's back underneath the Falcon as they head down towards Hamilton. Through the left-hander, you can see the missing bodywork of the Falcon, and now Dan Cox is going to have a real thing down to Augie's. Can he go round the outside there of the Falcon? But at the moment it's not really working off, or is it? Because now he makes his move perhaps on the inside for Williams. No, can't do it. No Fiat Bath to get in the way this time, but it appears the Falcon has the speed onto the straight. He should stay in front of the Cortina of Dan Cox, who's going to chase him to the flag. I don't think it'll be quite enough. Out of Palmer then, this scrap between the Jaguar and the Angular continues. Peter Burton under lots of pressure, under braking up on the inside to find his way through codes Max Reed, so he gains a position. That will put the Angular in 15th overall. Max Reed is second in Class C to the Angular a bit further up the road of Mike Klauska. So down towards Oggies they go, and look at the imp much later than the Mustang under braking. That is the lightweight imp without the boot on for Adrian Oliver. He's chasing after Mark Watts in the smoky Mustang. So they exit the corner and go down the Bentley straight. And there's your results then. It was Mike Gardner that took the race victory by 14 seconds. In second, Warren Briggs. Third, Gregory Thornton. Dan Cox finished fourth, and Jonathan Gom rounded up the top five.